What's going on, guys? Noguides here. Welcome back to another tactics video. In today's video, we've got the 4-2-2. This is Manu Bachoore's tactic. He's actually a pro player. He's actually the former world champion last year, won the World Cup for FIFA 23. So he's technically the best player from last year, technically speaking, when he won. And this is his 4-2-2 tactics. I'm going to go through the tactics now. I'll leave his links down below the description. I'm going to show you a gameplay example, but I'm also going to show you at the end of the day some fine tunes that you should make for your game style. Because don't forget, this guy is a top tier player. He's one of the best players in the world. He's a pro player. What works for him may not work for you. And I'll give you some player choices, some attack recommendations as well. It's got 50 width, depths on 60, balanced build-up play, direct passing on the chance creation, width on 50, and he's got, I believe, 4 or 5 players inside the box and corners and free kicks as you would like. Then the strikers, he's got the left back and right back on stay back while attacking for both of them. Both the centre backs on stay back while attacking. The goalkeeper is just on balance. So basically, the back three, you just leave them alone. Both the CDMs is an interesting one. No passing lanes. He's just got stay back while attacking and cover centre. And he's got comeback and defence for both the Lamb and the Ram. And then for the two strikers, he's got both comeback and defence. Now, this is actually very interesting because there's certain instructions that I would normally recommend. And with this one, relying a lot heavily on L1 triggers, which I always recommend to you. I want to show you a gameplay example of how I would play with this formation. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you my tactical layout, which I would recommend for you that will help you elevate your gameplay with some AI assistance, how to make it work for yourself. Okay, now let's go straight into the gameplay. Now, don't forget, a lot of these pro players, don't forget, one thing you have to always mention and remember is that a lot of it relies purely on their ability to attack themselves. A lot of these formations that they use is very little AI assistance. You can see, for example, he doesn't use 71 depth. There's multiple reasons for that. He says he doesn't like the auto offside trap, which is what your team advance forward. Now, he does mention this is a pretty balanced formation that it is. But there's one thing you're going to have to do is rely a lot on L1 triggers. So you can see, for example, when you get the ball here, he's using the L1 trigger to push that right back going forward, to then make that pass, and then to build up, and then to get the cutback. You see down the wing? Just getting those overloads like so, getting the ball with Cecenia, then I can bring the ball back, and I can then get the goal. Well, should have got the goal, ended up using precision shooting. But you can see there, that's the use of the L1 triggers. That's the benefit of leaving the left back and the right back on stay back while attacking, is that they always stay back. You don't really make a mistake defensively because they always stay in position. I'm just going to defend this here with the run and jockey. Yeah, what I was saying is they don't run forward for you. So in fact, actually it's easier to build up because let's see, under pressure, you have that always an exit strategy. The only thing is you got to push them forward, the L1 button like so, to make Mendy make that run. You see the most important thing was the L1 trigger. Going to do a driven pass to the striker. Going to wait for that Cecily to make that run. Do a 1-2. Get the ball over there. Do a ball roll. Oh, that was actually meant to be a pass to the striker. 1-2 here. Get the ball, a little bit of trickery. I had the angle there, but now that player's dropped, now I can take the shot. That was my fault, to be honest. Took a bit too long there. It's going to recycle the ball again. And this way you can see that both the CDMs, or the center mids, they're both on balance. Now again, you can use the L1 trigger to push them forward or do an L1X. This is how I like to play basic gameplay. And then also don't forget, when you have players on stay back while attacking, it's your job and it's your ability to trigger a player for. In fact, I very much prefer this. Because players stay where they are. Like Pereira's always going to be there and Llorente's always going to be there. If I want Pereira to make that run going forward, just do a 1-2 with him. And then I can try to find him after like so. Let the ball settle. And this time we should go for the cutback and it should be a goal. And it wasn't. One thing I do need to get used to is I keep switching between precision shooting and assisted shooting when I'm recording videos. Almost switching back and forward all the time. So I need to make sure that's again use the run and jockey. Not committing too much. And you can see that's the benefit of CDMs. Now, what's one thing to note is no cut passing lanes with my CDMs. Now, I would normally typically always go for cut passing lanes. Bit of an interesting one because sometimes the AI can sometimes try to man mark a play, which I don't really like that much. Again, through ball, doing a 1-2 this time to push that player going forward. And here we're going to do a bit of a player lock. Fake. That player's going to bite. That player did bite. Going to go around all the way back now. I can see that player making that run over there. I got that gap there. And then a quick 1-2 so we can beat that player there. It's all about timing now. Just unlucky there. Slide tackle, 50 slide tackle. Rapinoe. Not the best there. Putting my opponent under pressure here. Attacking width's on 50, so don't forget, this is going to play like a 4-4, that's a risky part. I don't know why. That was actually meant to be to my centre mid, but actually went to the wrong player. Going to use a CDM. That's the benefit of the CDMs in this formation. They sit pretty deep. You can see the strikers on comeback and offence really does help. But there's one thing you got to remember, and I'm using this, going to run. Make sure you don't bring your centre-backs out of position. And you can see we just now going to apply pressure ourselves here with Llorente. Driven pass. We've got the strikers on comeback and offence also helps because that allows you to easily build up as well with the run and jockey. Gone for the slide tackle there. Again, 1-2. I can see Son on the radar. I'm looking at Son in the corner of my eye and it should be onside just about. But was it the best of passes? They're going to use a bit of teammate contain here. Just to close those gaps. And you can see we're just being very, very careful. Go for the tackle. Bit unlucky. Using the teammate contain. Again, now you've got to be a bit careful now. You've got to use your CDM here to defend that. I'm being aggressive with my centre back, but I'm using my CDM to cover for that role. You can see using a bit of teammate contain, covering a cut back, and there's no chance that's going in. That's good defending from myself there. So this is the counter attack. Now you see, not many players that are moving. You see, I'm not actually using that many L1 triggers, but you can see straight away, Manu Bachoore, of course, being a top player there it is. In fact, I play quite similar, so it's quite easy for me. But I'm deliberately not using as many L1 triggers because I'm trying to replicate how you might play the game. And I've realised you need to use a lot of L1 triggers here, a lot of 1-2s. This is where something like long ball can really, really help you because you might find that your team, they just stand still. And that one I'll be honest, I expected the player to move down, didn't fall for it. Now, Rapinoe, not the best either. Bit rusty today, I am. First game of the day. So you can see I made a mistake there. So I'm just going to pretend to go towards that player. I'm waiting for the cutback and then I'm going to go with a slide tackle. And that was really nice left stick dribbling from my opponent. Use a bit of teammate contain. Using partial team press to move press. Bit of an advanced feature. I wouldn't recommend using that, to be honest. It's very risky. It's only if you really know how those players position. In fact, you don't really need to use it. Now what I'm going to use this bit of, I think player lock could be very, very effective. Like as you can see, especially down these areas on the wing. I don't want to keep scoring. I don't want to go into these positions too much. It's not really my playstyle, cutbacks. And you can see like here, that's the benefit of the comeback and offense. You can bring a Son back here. And that way you don't have to you might have to rewind that about 10 seconds. But you see how we didn't bring out that player. Pereira gets the ball. 1-2. Alvarez finally get that gap. And that was to the wrong player. Unfortunately, again, that was my fault. My aiming is a bit rusty. First half, a bit rusty. But let's go straight into the second one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just going to turn my precision shooting to assisted. Precision is better. I got a video of this on my channel, but I'm going to use assisted right now because as of course someone who coaches the game, I always switch between assisted and precision. And sometimes when I'm using assisted for too long, it kind of messes up my shooting with assisted. You should never switch between them. I just switch because a lot of my videos actually record my tutorials in assisted because precision is a bit of an advanced feature, I would say, and only if those that are very used to it. The mass majority of you won't be really using it. Precision. So you had a couple of chances in this game. A bit unlucky as well with our shooting here. Get a really nice chance. Alvarez now with, oh my god, bit rusty today. Really, I should literally be like 3 goals up. Got to go with the driven pass here to the striker. And this one should be a goal with a green time shot because I've not got precision shooting on, so it would have been an easy goal. But you can see there's a 4-2-2 using a centre mid. As soon as you get the ball forward, you can see those strikers. What's interesting to note though is the strikers are not on stay central. So if you technically pushed a winger forward or winger in the central position, you could actually move that player away. You can see pretty good attacking width. It's not too aggressive, not too wide to be fair. Same with the defensive slot. You don't want your width to be too wide defensively. I should have probably passed the ball to Alvarez there while trying to think of what to do. And again, we've got no one to pass the ball to. We're just going to wait a little bit, rotate the ball. You can see here with Pereira getting pressed a little bit. See driven pass into the middle. And we can see Alvarez going to through ball. Get the balls to Senior. And I thought that was a free kick on my side. 1-2. Get the ball. Now you can see we're triggering Rapinoe to make that run. We're going to go down the wing. Now again, we've got no right back overlapping, right? So if you're stuck in a situation, press the L1 button, pushing the right back forward. Now, you've got to be careful because if you lose the ball here, you could be in trouble. You can see on the radar, my opponent's got a lot of players on stay forward. So being careful here, playing in between the lines, see the gap, see the pass, and that should be a goal now, hopefully with Alvarez moving around the goalkeeper. So you can see we had to maneuver and change on the fly. That's the key, is adapting. Not being, you see like there, I could have tried to make it a bit more seamless and tried to go forward, but I didn't really want it. L1 trigger there. Nice, she's running on the outside. Perfect. Gonna wait for that player to make a run. What about timing now? Wow, my through balls today are really bad. I've actually missed almost, I think I've missed every through ball. Now again, if you like to do the finesse shots, it's perfect from corners to do these finesse shots. That's a bit too much power there. And I missed a green time. My distance. You see the use of the CDMs, using them. I made a mistake there, so I'm being careful. I've gone with like a bit of a risky tackle, but I knew it's either going to be a ball winning or I'm going to get the foul. Again, a lot of L1 triggers. I'm spamming the L1 button. I'm literally spamming. I'm saying to all of you players, run, 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 run. Then I can make the pass there. I tried to go for a bit of trickery towards the end. Again over there. Good width as well because the players are not so far away. The only thing I don't really like is sometimes when you press the L1 triggers, you can see the player makes that run on the inside, which is alright, but I prefer the player to make a run on the outside. I got a bit of trickery here. Getting pushed. Again, we're triggering owner forward. Got to be careful though. It's 2-2. So this, as you can see, is a fairly balanced formation, should I say, rather. Just waiting, waiting, waiting. Bit of trickery. Now we can see Mendy. We didn't really push him forward though. He kind of maybe indirectly pressed the L1 button. Got away with it. And that's going to be the downside, is if you lose the ball. But the good thing is, the left back, right back, they return pretty quickly. You can see using the CDM. Applying a bit of pressure, but you see we don't use our right back to be too aggressive. We just keep our distance. That way we keep the back run in line. Lorente using a bit of teammate contain to occupy that play. But I'm looking, my eyes are looking at the striker actually. You see that? And I pressed the wrong button there. Going to switch quickly to the main player inside the box. Trying to switch. We're looking for the cutback. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm reading it. See it. Okay, nice. 1-2. What? Why did the referee blow it? Why not play on? The ball around. Get out of that press. A bit unlucky with the pass there. Sometimes when you make a pass like that, it's understandable. Big mistake from me there. It's going to run back. Go for a tactical foul here. Tactical foul upwards. And with goalkeeper a little bit to the right hand side. And then, yes, so I did everything I could to save it. Bit of teammate contain. Partial teammate contain just to cover that pass now. Get the ball back. Just using run and jockey. I've got a video on that, how to defend as well. And don't forget, if you want to get better at FCU, come join my FC School Series. Patreon.com/Neil Guys. Link is down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund your money. That's a Neil Guys guarantee. We'll have a complete tutorial on how to do all of this, including everything. How to take a touch. How do you ask me, how do you lesser dribbling? Is it something secret lesser dribbling? Is it some secret buttons that you use? Absolutely not. Simple lesser dribbling is all you need. Look, simple lesser dribbling. You can go all the way around a goalkeeper. And as you can see, my opponent very frustrated. And very much about to leave the game. And I think that's going to be game, set, and match. Well, let's now go over the tactics and we'll go through it. Okay, so what do I feel about the formation? What do I feel about the tactics? Now, a formation like this is very similar to my 4-2-2. In fact, I believe that the depth is very similar as well. There's a couple of things I would change though. There's a few things you got to bear in mind. These players here have to have pace, in my opinion. And I would say if you have two strikers, because you need to use a lot of L1 triggers, I would recommend at least putting the fastest player on getting behind. If you like to dribble, like let's say realistically I'd have like Alvarez and Cecina up front. What I'd maybe do is put Cecina, the player that you want to make runs in behind, on getting behind. And then the other player, you can leave them on balance. That's what I'd recommend. I personally prefer stay central, but to be honest, it should be pretty much fine. The only times a player would move wide is if Son went into the middle, then Alvarez would move to the wide areas. I personally don't like that. The rest of it is pretty simple. It's pretty bog standard 4-2-2 tactics. Come back in defense. The only thing I would say is the defensive behavior. The only changes I would make to this entire system is cut passing lanes and then put the fullbacks. Well, to be honest, fullbacks you have to put an overlap. The reason why I say overlap, this is very important though, because a lot of players unintentionally, they trigger a fullback, and sometimes the fullback goes in the middle and it pushes the wide player on the outside. Now, do you want your winger to be on the outside? No, you want your right back to be on the outside, just like in real life, pushing your winger inside the box where that player can be more of a threat. So balance does work well, but I would say if you struggle and those players make runs inverting, you don't want them to make those runs, and you find your winger getting pushed out wide, you can definitely put overlap on. But I'll say apart from that, the only thing I'd really change is cut passing lanes. I think that's the only thing that I would recommend, just because I think naturally that when you have two players, the game likes to move the player in between the two players, hence why cut passing lanes, and it's easy for you to make a decision whether you want to defend or not. The problem is with balance, sometimes it marks up tight, and you might switch to a player that's too tight to your opponent, and by the time you switch and recover, you might not get used to it. Whereas cut pass lanes, I do think is a bit more consistent. Apart from that, I think it's a very good balanced tactic. So there's one of the strikers I'm getting behind. The tactics itself, the only thing I'd recommend is maybe long ball. As I said, especially with cams, don't forget, with cams, there's no option to get in behind. Like as you can see, the striker's got get in behind. Those cams, which are basically wide cams, which in effect, in FC, these wide cams are basically wingers. Whenever you see a 4-2-2 or 4-2-3-1, the wide cams are wingers. The problem is that you need quick players here, no centre mids. So, and there's no getting behind, so we're relying on this button over here. This is why Manu Bachoore is one of the best players in the world, because he probably triggers the L1 button all the time. In fact, if you look at his gameplay example as well, he does love L1 triggers, as every top tier player and every pro player. That's why I always say to you, L1 trigger is the most important thing. And that is why this formation, when you use it, it might feel a bit static. So if it really does feel static, you can use long ball. Another emphasis as well that he talks about, which I always talk about, is leave a player on stay back while attacking and use the L1 trigger to push them manually. Or, as you can see some of the examples, if I really want Mendy to overlap, I then use the L1 trigger. So I do an L1 or an L1 plus X pass. So then Mendy makes the running behind, and then you can play the through ball to double up. That way, when Mendy then loses the ball or passes the ball away, Mendy returns back to the left back position. So those are Manu Bachoore's 4-2-2 tactics. Those are changes that I would make. The tactics itself, I will not change. Just add long ball in. The rest of the tactics are completely fine. I think it's right. It's a very good balanced tactic. But I just would say put one of the strikers and get it behind. That way, at least you've got one person making the run out. When you pick up the ball with your CDM or with a winger, at least you've got one option that's making that run forward to pass the ball to. Anyways, that is the 4-2-2 custom tactics. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this and more tutorials, don't forget my Patreon series, patreon.com/NoGuys, links down below in the description. If you don't get it after 1 month, I'll refund your money. So no guys guarantee. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.